Stan Lee himself once said, with great power comes great responsibility. I think oftentimes we see with the current political or legal climate that we have going on here that you have people that have this sort of authority or some sort of power, and then you kind of think to yourself, well, we have these people that we rely on to regulate our lives and keep us safe and do right by us. But what if you have those same people that don't do good by us? What if you have those same figures that misuse their power? What if we have those people that abuse that power for any sort of societal, economical, or social gain? I think it's a very scary thing to think about. And today, we really need to talk about that. We're going to be heading on over to Detroit to talk about a judge by the name of Kenneth King. He's currently in some hot water right now after he humiliated a 15-year-old girl in front of all her friends. And not only that, he was also live streaming the whole court case, which is pretty crazy because he only punished her because she was sleeping during his courtroom presentations. He was really just showing the class how the court system works. It was just a presentation and she slept. And for some odd reason, Judge Kenneth, or Judge King, we should say, in his feelings, he got on a power trip and he made an example out of her just for sleeping. And we're going to explore that real quick because the story is actually developing. There's more to it right now. And we're going to try to get all these stories and updates together and put it in a nice little bow in this here video. King ordered that a 15-year-old be put in handcuffs and a jail uniform, and he yelled at her for falling asleep, according to a statement from the Greening of Detroit, the nonprofit that have organized the field trip. The complaint filed Wednesday accused King of malicious prosecution, unlawful arrest and incarceration, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false arrest and imprisonment, unlawful seizures, detention, and invasion of privacy. God dang, this is a whopper of charges right here. It is absolutely crazy. It is detailed that King berated the minor on a live platform, ordered her jailed, caused her to be handcuffed, demanded that she take off her clothes and change into a jail garb, imprisoned her for hours, and then conducted a fake trial with her classmates and possibly his internet followers as her jurors and his audience. That is borderline some sociopathic shit that we're just reading right now. There's a lot to take in. So basically, you had a whole bunch of students that were going on this field trip and they were going into this courtroom, and this courtroom, hosted by, Judge King himself, they were going to do a mock trial. And this girl, this 15-year-old girl who can't be named because she's a minor, she was very sleepy. She was very tired and she was sleeping during the whole presentation. Judge King didn't like that and he called her out on it. And apparently she had a little bit of an attitude about it. He got, pretty offended by her attitude and he wanted to make an example out of her. And then what I've read there is exactly what just happened. He really just did all of those things. It's literally just wrong after wrong after wrong after wrong after wrong. It's very hard to say that he made just one mistake. No, he didn't make one mistake. He didn't make one wrong. He made multiple wrongs. Like, you would have thought this is enough. He felt the need to do more than that. And especially being a judge on top of that just makes it even scarier because you can only imagine how he handles his other court cases. Not to mention he broadcast this like on a live stream in front of people on the internet like strangers. You are literally humiliating a little girl on the internet for like internet points? Like, what is wrong with you? Todd Perkins, King's attorney, declined to comment on the specifics of the case and said that King only wants the best outcome for this young person and all young people. Gary Felty, an attorney at Fager Law, the Michigan-based firm that has taken on the case, said King has no judicial immunity in the incident because court was not in session when the judge violated the teenager's rights. In Michigan, a judge is immune to liability, quote-unquote, for injuries to persons or damages to property if he or she is acting within the scope of his or her judicial, legislative, or executive authority. The lawyer noted that King was allegedly broadcasting the teenager's field trip on the court's YouTube channel, allowing viewers to observe and comment. She was humiliated in front of her peers as well as a wider internet audience, Felty said, adding that she is a good student with dreams of becoming a cardiothoracic surgeon? Wow, that was a mouthful. Who knows how many people saw her be portrayed as a juvenile delinquent. The Washington Post is not naming the girl because she is a minor who has not been charged with a crime. After an internal investigation, King has been temporarily removed from the docket, Chief Judge William McCocknico said in a statement Thursday. So from what I understand, this has been going on for maybe about a month. Let's just say a month. So basically you have that situation. He basically humiliated this 15-year-old girl just for sleeping, yada, yada, yada. He did get some media backlash for that. And he doubled down on it, and he was saying that I need to teach these young people that these court cases are serious, and they need to take these things seriously because they could be at the other side, and they could, be at the mercy of the judge and the jury and everything. And I completely understand that, but I don't think you had to do that to stress that point. I don't think that you should do all those things just because somebody was sleeping. In fact, I don't think you should be doing that at all. Because I'm not going to mention a name, but I know a very special someone who has slept during court cases, and no one bats an eyelash over it. But somehow, this little girl is sleeping, and all of a sudden, you felt so butthurt by the fact that someone was sleeping, implying that your presentation for a court case was boring. You felt the need to make things a little interesting, weaponize your power or use your power for abuse to put this girl on the spot and humiliate her, strip her clothes, and have her dress up in a jail garb, and even have her friends act as jury and raise their hands as a show of if she should be punished for sleeping during a court case, a mock court case, a mock trial at that. Absolutely insane. I will say it again, it is sociopathic behavior. So after the whole situation, people from the entities that are above him was looking to the situation, and they said, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you on leave, and he's gonna get paid for this leave, by the way, but he has to go through some sort of like retraining of some sort. King has also been ordered to receive necessary training. Mick Kaneko said because his actions do not reflect the court's commitment to providing access to justice in, unquote, an environment free from intimidation or disrespect. Mick Kaneko noted that he does not have the authority to permanently remove a judge from the bench. I'm not sure how that process is when it comes to firing a judge. I don't know what that looks like. I'm not sure if they have to go through some level of impeachment or something like that. But I'm pretty sure there is a process. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a law expert here. I don't think that Judge King should be a judge. I don't think so. I think he should be stripped from that title. I don't think he should ever step foot into a court case again unless he's being held accountable for what he did to that poor little girl when he gets sued. Other than that, I don't think this man should be on a podium with a black gown and a tie and a white button-down shirt with a gavel in hand. I genuinely don't think that he should be in this role anymore. The attorneys whom the students were meant to watch were not yet in court when King saw the teenager doze off. You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm going to put you in the back. Understood? King reportedly said, apparently referring to a holding cell. The judge then asked the girl to step outside to get a drink of water or go to the restroom, Felty said. When she returned, King instructed a court officer to arrest her. She was first detained in a room facing the court from where she could hear the judge call cases, Felty said. Then he said a female corrections officer handcuffed her, moved her into another room, and asked her to change her clothes. The complaint said that she then asked to put on a jail jumpsuit and made to wait for 2 hours, separated from the rest of her group. After she was called back into the courtroom, Felty said, King, unquote, conducts what can only be described as a mock trial of the girl. He humiliates and degrades her for the benefit of the other students and possibly his internet followers. King's courtroom sessions are generally streamed on YouTube, Felty said, but he should turn off the live feed when court is not in session. I don't know what to say. I genuinely don't know what to say. Imagine being called out for sleeping in the courtroom, and the judge says, okay, yo, if I catch you sleeping one more time, you gonna hear it from me. If you want, you can go outside, get a drink of water, and you can come right back. You go and get a drink of water, maybe to perk you up a little bit, whatever. You come back, all of a sudden, you have a corrections officer that handcuffs you, brings you to another room, and tells you to take off your clothes and change into like a jail jumpsuit, only to be made fun of and humiliated by the judge in this mock trial that he has set up for you, so that students can understand how a mock trial works, except you are the person that has charges being pressed on. And for what? Sleeping during a fucking presentation of a courtroom? Like, it is absolutely batshit wild that the judge thought of this, even with millions of people or thousands of people, whatever, watching his live stream, and he thought there was nothing wrong with this. This is beneficial for the little girl. She needs to understand that the legal system is serious and it's unforgiving and it's tough out here, and she's gonna learn the hard way. Hill declined the Washington Post request for comment, but she told WXYZ that her daughter was tired during a field trip because their family doesn't have a permanent home. She said King belittled her daughter in front of the whole world and her friends to make her feel even more worse about our situation. The fact that he was talking about, you go home and get in your bed. How do you know my baby got a home? How do you know my baby got a bed? Her own bed she could sleep in. She don't have that right now. So she was tired, Hill told the station. The judge defended his decision in an interview with WXYZ. It was her whole attitude and her whole disposition that disturbed me, he said, noting that the punishment wasn't just for falling asleep. I'll do whatever needs to be done to reach these kids and make sure that they don't end up in front of me. King said that he wanted the situation to look and feel real to her, even though there's probably no real chance of me putting her in jail. You big stinky poopy head. You really just came out of nowhere and said, yeah, I'll do whatever needs to be done in order to get these kids straight so they don't end up in front of me. I hope they don't end up in front of you. I hope you are stripped of your role as a judge. There are so many ways as an adult, as a mentor, as a teacher, as a counselor, that you can go to a student or a child and you can teach them life lessons. You can teach them about the legal system and how serious it is. There are many ways you can do that. But what you just did here is not it. You don't have to humiliate kids in order for them to learn. I don't understand what background he comes from where he feels as if humiliating somebody is going to teach him a lesson. Terms and conditions apply. And that's what brings us back to square one of this video when I say with great power comes great responsibility. And I really feel that this guy should not be trusted with this type of power. By the way, it's so sad that the mother, explained why she was tired to begin with, because she doesn't have a permanent home. So not only did you just bully a little girl, you bullied a little girl who is temporarily homeless, which makes you an even more of a piece of shit to begin with. I really hope that he dresses up in a jail jumpsuit so he knows how it feels to be in that little girl's shoes, and he gets humiliated himself. But anyways, I'm just riding high on emotion. I'm pretty tired, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about this because this story was developing and I felt as if I just had to talk about it. I got really passionate and it really pissed me off that we have these people in power and they feel this need to misuse it or abuse it because their ego gets bruised, especially for something as little as just sleeping in a courtroom presentation or in a mock presentation. Or a trial presentation or whatever. Oh, God. Oh, my fucking God. Anyways, guys, that's really about it. Peace.